Happy first day of summer! Hello and welcome back to Reykjavík Newscast. My name is Josie Anne. I'm culture editor with the Reykjavík Grapevine, and believe it or not, this is the first day of Icelandic summer. It may be 12 degrees, I am wearing thermals and a waterproof, but according to Icelanders, this is it. This is summer now. And they've got pretty good reasons for it. We're going to get into that later in the newscast. But first of all, talking of summer, if you are planning to visit Iceland this summer in the next few months, I just want to remind you that we have tours that you can book on our website. If you go to grapevine.is, and I'll put the link down in the description as well, you can support the work that we do at the Reykjavík Grapevine by booking tours through us. There's a tab on the website for tours, and you can do everything from a tour of the Golden Circle to doing Valur's walking tour of Reykjavík, where he and Bjartmar, friend of the show, explain to you what makes Icelanders Icelanders. I've done this tour, it's really fun, it's really interesting, I definitely recommend it. Anyway, we're going to talk more about coming to Iceland, COVID regulations, and of course find out more about why this is Icelandic summertime. So let's get to it, to the news. So this is the official first day of summer in Iceland, and what that means is it's a national holiday, so that's why Valur's not here today. He's got the day off, he's with his family out celebrating, and it is a really important day, as you can see, for families. We're here in Laugardalur, it's in Reykjavík, and this is a park, it's got a little zoo, and they are just all geared up for summer festivities. You may be wondering why exactly this counts as summer. You can see there's barely even buds on the trees at the moment. But the reason that this is the first day of summer is actually a historic cultural thing. Now, bearing in mind that tradition is essentially peer pressure from dead people, and I say that as a traditional musician myself, cultural traditions are really important in Iceland. So this comes from the time when there were essentially just two seasons in Iceland, back when settlement occurred. The seasons were summer and winter, and summer officially starts on the first Thursday after the 18th of April, which is today. So even though the climate is not very summer-like, so on 14 occasions between 1949 and 2015, the average temperature in the capital on the first day of summer has been below freezing. It is still celebrated as the first day of summer, and it's the first day of the old Icelandic month Harpa, which is the first official summer day. Art wants me to go and check out this pontoon. I think we've missed the boat, Art. So back then, when we split the year into summer and winter, it was traditional to measure people's ages by how many winters they'd survived, which says a lot about how harsh the winters were here. So you would say, you know, she's 4 winters old. And beyond that, according to folk belief, it's actually a good thing if the temperature drops below freezing the night before summer. So traditionally, people would leave a bowl of water outside their front door, and if it froze over during the night, then that meant that the summer was going to be a good one. We're going to see if we can hitch a ride on this boat. Nowadays, the official first day in summer, as well as being celebrated today, is also linked to the coming of Loa, which is a very important bird in Icelandic tradition. Here we go.
Nei, Halldór, ekki. We would have had $1 million by the end of the year.
Wait. Room for us? Okay. Yay. Here we go. Do we pull? Oh, we're super heavy. We're pulling. I think we're too heavy for this, Art. We're very low in the water right now, is all I can say. I think we're just ruining it for everybody. Oh, can you make it? Okay, that's as close as it's going to get. Yeah, just spoiling fun for children here while we go. But yes, so this other way that summer is celebrated here is to do with loa, like I was saying. So this is a very important bird in Icelandic culture. It's in English, it's the European golden plover, and the first day that it is seen, which this year I think was the 21st of March, which so even earlier than today, that is also considered an official first day of summer. So Icelanders definitely like to get in early in terms of celebrating. But these days, it tends to be celebrated like this. As you say, there's lots of like family activities, there's parades, and it's something actually that the Scouts tend to be really involved in. And we actually had the chance to go and see one of these parades earlier today and to interview a couple of the Scouts who were involved in it. So I'm just going to drop that in now. Let's hear from the Scouts from earlier today. We just saw the amazing parade, and of course it's led by the Scouts, and I'm now joined by two Scouts from Iceland. Can I just get you guys to tell me your names first of all?
My name is Þorkell.
That's it.
Styrmir.
Yeah, we told them they had to be really close to the microphone, and they're being brilliant. So this is the official first day of summer, and the weather is maybe not the most summery. What does first day of summer mean to you guys? Like, how important is it to you?
It's like just we get to do this most of the time.
Okay.
But then the weather is really weird, and that's really funny.
Yeah, it kind of makes it more fun, doesn't it?
Yes.
So how long have you both been in the Scouts for?
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years, yeah.
I've been about 1 year longer than him.
Oh, okay. Are you older?
No, we're same age.
Same age?
I just got to, because,
my
mom's friend, she had a daughter, and they put in a good word for me.
Ah, okay. You got to get a good recommendation. Yeah. And what's it like being a Scout? What sort of stuff do you do?
It's really fun. We like a couple times a year we get to sleep in some cabins or tents.
Uh-huh.
Just we meet every week.
Okay.
And just do something fun.
Great. And do you think it's something that's like, do other young people your age, or is it something that people are excited about being part of and joining in with? Is it still I mean, I was a Scout when I was your age, but I wasn't sure if there were many young people still doing it today.
There are like a couple, but not like everyone.
Not everyone. But then everyone's different, right?
Yes.
Everyone needs to do different things. So how long had you been practicing for doing the parade and holding the flags? Was this your first year getting to actually hold the flag?
I did it once, like a couple years ago.
Okay. But do you have to, is it a lot of hard work? They look quite heavy.
Yeah, like we have things here that hold them.
Okay.
But all the blood goes from the hand.
Well, you guys did a great job, and thanks very much for helping us herald in the first days of summer. Hopefully the weather gets a bit better, and thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for inviting us.
No worries. Thanks again to those lads for chatting to us. They were super great, weren't they? And yeah, we're just going to keep wandering around and checking all of this out. But I also want to tell you while we're here, there has been some updates about COVID. So you can see there are people aren't really wearing masks here. Iceland has essentially kind of tentatively returned to normal. And that means that, as we've said before, there are no restrictions on visiting Iceland, regardless on whether or not you have been vaccinated or not. But they have decided now that it's a good idea to offer a 4th vaccination to those over 80 and all people in care homes. This was decided by the chief epidemiologist, Þorkell Gudnason. Apologies for my pronunciation, as always. Although he expects the infection rates to be low this summer, it's a precautionary measure basically because we don't know how long the vaccinations or the immunity from actually catching the virus will last. And so it's important to make sure that the most vulnerable in society are well cared for. That being said, if you are planning to visit Iceland this summer, there are no restrictions. This looks way too much fun. And so, you don't have to think about wearing a mask unless you want to. Of course, it's not frowned upon in any way. Some people do still wear masks to shops. I think they're still advised on places like airplanes, but there are no official regulations regarding this. So there are really high hopes that this is going to be a big tourist summer. It's already feeling busier if you go downtown. There's lots more people on the streets. And hospitality and tourism providers are basically very excited to have a big summer. Art wants me to go on this, but I'm not ruining it for the kids a second time. They're good. They don't need me. And now to something a little bit more serious. The elections are coming up. These are the municipal or council elections, local elections. These are going to occur on the 14th of May. But there's obviously numerous topics surrounding this, but something that's come to the fore recently in terms of the dialogue around the election campaigns has actually been racism in Iceland. Valor talked about this before. You'll remember the Minister of Infrastructure, Sigurður Ingi. He was at a conference last month for his party. There's generally, people are enjoying themselves at these events and they go on later in the evening. And he was overheard making a remark towards a woman of colour they were in a group that were going to have a photograph taken, and he made a very racist remark towards her. He has now been reported to, what's it called? He's been reported for violating the Parliamentary Code of Ethics by making this comment. And besides publishing an apology on his Facebook page, the minister has refused to discuss the matter at all. So this is obviously pretty serious. This has been followed up by another separate incident, and this is with a young politician called Lenya Rune. She is a deputy MP for the Pirate Party. She was actually meant to be the youngest MP in Icelandic parliamentary history, but due to the election issues after the general election last year and the recounts that had to happen because of the miscounts, basically, in the west of the country, she was kind of bumped out of her seat and has become a deputy MP instead. But she's still a very vocal politician, very interesting young woman, and she has lived in Iceland since she was a very young girl. I think she was under 5 when she came here, but her family, I believe, are Kurdish. And she recently she did an interview. It was with an Icelandic media outlet called Kjarnin. I think I'm saying that right. So she did this interview with them, and in it she discussed her experience of receiving racist remarks, especially on social media, from Icelanders. This interview, which, talking about her experience as racism, the Kiernan then had to take this interview down due to the number of racist comments that were made on its social media pages as a reaction to this. They were horrified. Obviously, Lenya has been very upset by this, and it's caused a real outcry in terms of the culture of racism, connecting, more official, serious, high-profile politicians. People are saying, if they are seen in public making these sorts of comments, then that feeds a kind of racist discourse where people feel emboldened, especially on social media like Facebook, where your name is attached to your comment. People are not hiding this at all. They are putting themselves out there publicly to talk about this. One of the people who has called out this is Eirun Eyþórsdóttir. She is a doctor of anthropology and assistant professor of police science. I actually interviewed her before. A very interesting woman. She used to head up a section of the police force that was put together to tackle racism and hate speech. And she has been raising concerns for a number of years that she feels that hate speech is growing in Iceland and that it's not being tackled. And she said basically that if we don't send a clear message that this is inappropriate and that people at all levels of society will have consequences for speaking like this to people, then we are just going to see an epidemic of this kind of behaviour. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And like I said, the elections are on the 14th of May. So it'll be interesting to see how this discourse grows and changes and what kind of comes out of it, the reaction from other politicians, if they will sort of look at this as a significant issue to tackle in their discourse around the election. It's important to note as well, something that hasn't been publicised very well, is that there's been a change to the laws around who can vote. And this happened, I believe, on the 1st of January this year, but it's not really been widely covered in the media. So if you live in Iceland and you are a foreign national, if you have, the rules used to be that you had to be resident here for 5 years before you could vote, or 3 years if you were from another Nordic country. This has now changed that if you're from a Nordic country, you can vote straight away as soon as you're registered as a resident. And if you are from a different foreign country, you only have to live here for 3 years. So lots more people who have emigrated to Iceland may be eligible to vote without having even realised it. So definitely check that out. I'm going to leave links to articles about all of these topics in the description. We write about a lot of these news stories as well on our website. And in fact, if you're looking for spellings of names or more information about the subjects in which we talk, there's always information in the description. So I encourage you to go and check that out if you're interested in learning more. And that is basically it for the newscast. Short and sweet, so we can go out and enjoy this beautiful summer weather. I definitely want to go and pat a pony for sure. Icelandic horses. They're very particular about that. But yes, please don't forget as well our tours. Both the ones that we do ourselves at Grapevine with Valor and Bjartmar. If you are coming to Iceland and you want a chance to meet Valor and obviously, most importantly, Polly, obviously we know that she's the one that everybody wants to see, this is the best way to do so, and it helps support the journalism that we do. But if you want to do a different sort of tour around Iceland, then you can book through our site as well. There's lots of really cool things to do, and obviously I'm a bit biased, but I think Iceland makes for the perfect holiday. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy the summer wherever you are. I hope the weather's a little bit better than this. I'm going to go make Art buy me some candy floss. See you next time.